up a seat at the bar to join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tanzan, Jess, and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.
Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 10.24, Freakin' Gratitude, where we are covering the novel Death Masks. My name is Tanzan, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello, hello.
And Jess. Awkward face.
Hello.
Thank you to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us do what we do. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, kick-ass merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at patreon.com/freeflowrambling. Chapter 27. Dresden and Susan collect the Blue Beetle and head to Michael's. Father Forthill welcomes them and provides information on Nicodemus. Harry tries to get Anna Valmont to give him more information, but while he is distracted, she steals his car and slips away. Harry discovers Father Forthill's Eye of Thoth tattoo and learns that Father Vincent also has the same tattoo.
Harry's grabbing all his stuff. He's got his staff, his bossing rod, shears, cane. I need a golf bag.
He and Susan leave for McAnally's, and Susan asks about the damage to the Blue Beetle. Chlorofiend. I have my pride.
So, literally, why don't you just call it a plant monster if it's a plant monster? He, had the exact same conversation with Murphy. It was like...
Because he has
the
his pride.
Chlorofiend got me. The what? Plant monster. Oh, right. Yeah, duh.
It was funny the first time. I appreciate it.
Do you know who has a golf bag, though, to carry around their magical stuff?
Morgan.
And Morgan! And he wants to copy him.
Yeah. Get yourself a hockey bag, Harry.
Gosh.
Much cooler, would not look...
Well, that's too TV show-esque.
It is, but I'll give him that one, though. You can, again, just a
not a hockey stick.
Not a hockey stick to work your magic, but you can have a hockey bag, too. Because, one, golf bags are still open.
Yeah, literally, Morgan has to carry around actual golf clubs among his sword and blasting.
He could use a marketing tube.
He has to use a little,
yeah.
Okay, but not for all that stuff. But he'd have to put, the little puffy sock hats on all, to,
Could you imagine he's whipping out his rod and he's, trying to shake off
right.
puffy,
Yeah, exactly, right? Morgan has, this big-ass fucking, two-handed broadsword to go around lopping people's head off, and he's got, a little toque on the hilt of it so that it doesn't look like a sword hilt, and then you just assume it's a golf club.
Yeah. It's just very funny. It's your mortal enemy walks around with a golf bag. You want to copy him?
Right? See, your poster tube, art tube thing, his staff is, 6 feet tall. So you'd either need a really big one plus.
But they do. If you ever, because you do the long displays.
But again, he's talking about all his stuff together.
But that's what he's keeping the shroud in. He lost that really easily.
Right.
Yeah, that was in. But yeah, right. So
I don't feel like a golf bag is going to be any more resilient though. It's got no top on it. You can see what's in it.
It's even more, crazy to be carrying around while you're running, right?
There's a reason why golf guys hire caddies because they're awkward.
Yeah,
let me pay you money.
That's what Harry needs.
Sucks.
Harry needs a caddy. Oh my god! Toot toot is Harry's caddy. Would be
oh man. So what's really funny about Skyrim is that you can assign someone to be your buddy, and they just run around with you everywhere you go and help you. When you get into fights, they also start attacking it. When you do shit they're always running after you, right? And I love the game Skyrim, but I don't play it often enough that every time I load into the game, there's this guy following me and I kill him instantly. I'm like, why are you following me? And then he drops all this shit. I'm like, oh, right, you were my guy. I'm making you carry all that shit. Because, like, you loot them when you kill something. And I'm always like, why do you have all my shit?
You can
You
loot
were my
your
dude.
companion? Or...
When you kill them, you can.
Oh my god.
Because you give them their shit to carry for you.
ESO, you can't attack your own person. I have both,
no.
and I only play ESO more. Like
No, in the Xbox One version, you can absolutely kill them
like,
off.
obviously, she
and I
does
do
it
it so
frequently.
often because I play the game like once a year, and I'm like, who's following me? Die, die, die. Ah, man, you were my guy. I forgot that was a feature
You gotta
in
put
this
a
game.
sticky note on it next time. Do not kill
Hell
the
yeah.
dude behind you.
Seriously. So yeah, it's like Harry's gonna like hire some guy to follow him, and he'll go off of like 1 hour of sleep in 4 days, and be like, who are you? Oh yeah, my bad.
oh shit.
PI looking
Why did
for
this
new
stuff look so
assistant.
familiar?
Oh, permanently hiring.
And that gold
Position's
nugget
always open.
gets a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not stolen, it's not vaporized, it's not other than the damage to the
Marcone's goons and the chlorophene.
in the chlorophene.
So Susan,
And she laughs at him for that too. He's like, you got shot up outside the Larry Fowler studio. She's like, you went on Larry Fowler again. He's like, shut up.
Looking for you, you asshole. Return your calls next time.
Yeah. Don't drop off the face of the earth. Look what I have to resort to.
So Susan does check the car over, and then they leave for Michael's. And when they get there, Susan is rather amazed at how nice his place is, and she wonders how Michael does it. And he manages to keep the grass so green in February.
She's
like, and I just love the response. Sod works in mysterious ways. Like, oh,
Harry.
I just I live for those moments in these books. Like punny.
We read these in our own time, right?
The best dad joke ever.
We go through these books in our own time.
Yeah.
But Mom drives me to the podcast every day. And she's like, and as part of our thing when we drive to the podcast is that we'll just play the audiobook version as we drive there just to get it in our heads one last time. And this chapter, she's like quoting it like 10 seconds before the narrator the whole time. And she's like, the grass is green. It's February. And the grass is green. It's February. And the grass. Doesn't that say sod works in mysterious? Sod works. I'm like, can you shut the fuck up?
That's a good line. Just a good
Goddamn
bit.
echo in here.
Right? Goddamn parrots.
Seriously.
That's funny.
I just listen to the book, please. I want to listen to James Marsters right now.
But see, it's memorable, right? Now you remember what happened. Oh, it was funny. Well, I like
So committed to like the reading of these books, but can't actually do her own notes.
She doesn't need to do the
don't
notes.
need- well, why do I need notes if I can recite the chapters?
Got it all
Because
anyway.
your thought process is like ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, you think I'm gonna follow that if I write notes? I'm gonna be what?
It helps, I
Even
promise.
worse.
We just watched her try to find her notes, and she went through 4 different books.
Yeah, I had written
Point.
something down for something coming up that I wanted to make sure. I think it's for the next chapter though, so we're safe. But yeah, see,
can't even figure out where she wrote them down.
it's all up here like a steel trap.
See, I put them in the app.
Steel
app
trap
lets
or
you
a steel
type
sieve?
notes.
Yeah, what?
Steel trap or steel sieve?
Hush you. I thought of that too, but I don't think I do have. I don't think this is where I put the notes either. Anyways, it's okay because it's for the next chapter.
So, knocking on Charity's door, beautiful garden, beautiful house, and Father Forthill opens the door.
Yeah.
The whole gang's here. Shiro hangs out at that house. Forthill hangs out at that house. All the knights go hang out at that house.
It's the cool. Really, if you're going, you're gonna hang out in Harry's teeny tiny, dingy. There might be an ogre coming by to kill me apartment, or you're gonna go to the beautiful white picket fence family home that still has green grass in February.
Who's there?
And this is why Charity has to
Donnie and
constantly
Marie.
take.
And I mean, honestly,
Charity's
from that
gotta-
point of view too, when you're the one with all the kids, you're not. No, you guys just come here. It's just easier. You guys just yeah.
We all have a family member who's like that. Like where you're like they're like the
The
meeting
main
place.
host, yeah.
Yeah, we were just discussing that last time we went to my older sister's. We're like, you've become like, and she's like, well, yeah, because she's like, now that I don't have all like the crap and the kids, and she's like, I don't mind, you guys can all come and you can all go away again. And then, she's like, I don't mind a little bit of the cleanup and the this. She's like, it's worth it that I don't have to be the one to like go out everywhere and do everything and like haul all this stuff around with me anymore. So she's like, now you guys can pack up your kids and come to grandma's.
I feel like that's sort of a lost art though too, like the having one communal like place. Like I know I think of my grandma because she would like cook for an army. Of course, there was like 14 of them when they were all growing up. So
Yeah.
minimum at any point, and that doesn't include any of the
And they just
the
never,
grandchildren and like the cousins.
It's like grandma's never like downsized. It's like I once had to prepare meals for 14 people. I cannot no longer prepare for anything less. There's always food for like 14 people, even when I'm just here by myself.
Grandma just doesn't eat until there's like company over, and then just eats the leftovers for the next 2 months.
It's like a squirrel or something, you know. She's like, I just stock. I have like a really big meal every couple of months, whatever. And I just, my body just.
I know myself because I used to have a lot. I used to end up being that same person because I was like always a little bit OCD, so everything was really clean. I liked cooking. I would have dinner parties. There was always lots of food in the fridge. I had lots of space. People would come. The only problem is like if you're allergic to cats, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck. Take a.
Yeah, and I'm not. Literally, like 2 days ago, my other daughter that's like staying with me at the moment, she was like, "But now do you even eat?" She's like, "You went out and bought groceries, and the only thing in the house is what did I have?" Oh yeah, she's like, "You have like little nuts and cheese and like some chips in the cup." I'm like, I was like, I bought like some frozen dinners too.
But I like during your university and stuff like that, and even afterwards when I like had my own sort of established place, I always had people over.
And
then I moved back to Canada, and it was like, nope. And I noticed other people are kind of not like that. Like it's.
I had to go, so I wanted to
go out to like bars and stuff, or like a club.
Yeah.
You don't like hang out. Do you? Like maybe this is a generational thing. I don't know. Do you?
I just hosted for the first time since I moved out last weekend. So first time in 7 years, and I'm probably going to wait another 7 years to do it again.
Right.
Yeah. It was fun, though. We weren't allowed in the house much except to pee. We had to stay in the backyard, but it was fine. No, it was good.
I don't want people coming to my house because that means I'd have to take good care of my house, and I don't do that when it's just for myself.
Right. And I think I probably still, out of all of us, host. Well, I don't know about your family stuff, but like, host quite a bit more here than anything.
Yeah, I don't tend to have...
Or force Jay to.
Well, this is like what I was going to say. I was like,
He cooks, I don't.
And that's the thing. I'm like, I'm not a big... Like, I don't enjoy food enough to bother making it for myself. So I literally live off, like, prepared or
the key is potluck. Because everyone brings something. There's something for everyone. And so you only have to worry about the one dish yourself and providing plates.
Right, but neither me or Mom can make that one dish for ourselves a day.
People like leave their leftovers because they don't want to take it with them.
Well, there's just you
end up with more food after the fact. Because I was always a poor motherfucker.
If you're gonna do, then yes, there is that. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm like I'll bring the ice.
Not worth it.
I can manage ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody shows up at Michael's house. Yeah.
Father, like you said, Father Forthill answers the door for Donnie and Marie. And he lets them in.
The logical choice to fill in for Salt and Pepper.
Harry notes that Father Forthill is a baseball fan. He's got his little brandishing weapon.
Yep, hanging on to his... But hey, he's smart. Like, he's like, I got left in charge. I will defend this house with my...
He knows shit is going down.
He's like, I don't have a cool sword like that.
Just use the peephole or the window. Like
I'll just pray about it later.
He's a simple man with exactly.
He's going to ask for forgiveness.
That's right.
Life hack. As long as you go and confess all your sins, you can do whatever you want.
He just talks to himself. I don't know.
Now, you have to be genuinely sorry. That's the catch, though. Just confessing them isn't enough. You're actually, you have to be genuine.
That's why it hasn't been working.
Yeah, you have to generally repent and want forgiveness for those sins, and then you.
I thought showing up to the church was enough effort.
You and so many others, but yeah. See, that's why they always put in those little extra catches.
There's always a fine print.
It was while they were making up that list of things. They're like,
they say Satan made all the lawyers. That was God. Actually, you can't come to heaven because you weren't that sorry about this one thing that one time. So go fuck yourself.
I know you were kidding.
Harry asks about Charity, who is left to take the kids to her mother's, and then also learns that Anna Valmont is asleep. She's there.
Yeah, she's there. So Susan wants to check in with Martin. Find out what's going on and fill him in since they like jumped out of a speeding car. So Harry and Forthill sit down to have a little chat together. Like how he's like, do you know Susan? He's like, by reputation. Like, I've heard about your vampire girlfriend.
Right. And the two of them joke a bit, like, which is good. And Forthill really does appreciate it. Like, it's a good tension reliever.
Yeah, and I like, because we haven't seen a lot yet of Forthill, but we know they've met before. Like, we saw them in, like, Grave Peril and stuff like that, right? So we know they have a little bit. So this is just a little bit more, right? So we know that Forthill's that Right, he knows Harry. He's like halfway between Harry and Michael kind of a thing.
He's used to Harry dropping women off at his doorstep and being like, protect this chick, bye.
Or, like, yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. But he knows his sense of humor, and, like, he will play a little bit, but he's still a little more conservative, because but yeah, that's kind of, it's just like, yeah, he holds his own just fine with Dresden.
Go ahead.
Harry gets the rundown on what's happening. So, yeah, Charity's off taking the kids to her mother's, Anna Valmont's sleeping, and Michael and Sonia were arrested in St. Louis, and that's why they've been MIA for so long. So, held for 24 hours and then released, no questions asked.
What for? There was no charges.
Crazy. So, a nice thing about
Shiro?
What's
Nicodemus?
first world
problems
is like you can be arrested with no questions asked for 24 hours and held, right? It's just a thing in Canada and America and probably the UK and just like lots of places where it's like you don't need a reason to arrest anyone as long as it's fast.
Detained.
They have that in a lot of countries, Jessica. The difference is they release us
24
after that 24 hours.
Yeah.
Usually in the condition we were arrested in. So I'm like, trust me, it's getting picked up for no reason is not what makes it special. That happens in a lot of places. But yes, they do know, yeah.
Released part.
The released without. So yeah, we didn't find anything to charge you with, but yeah, we were allowed to hang on to you in case we
Just in case.
Just in case. But so yeah, so obviously a very deliberate, we just needed you guys out of the way for a bit. Now, whether that specifically left Shiro free or whether they would have liked to get all of them, but they
And apparently they didn't even get their one call.
That's actually a falsity, isn't it? Like, I didn't think that was actually, I think that's a TV made-up thing. Like, you're not actually...
The one call thing?
You don't actually have the right to call anybody if they don't want you to.
Yeah.
And I think
Which
you
also
probably
could be
would have to
country-related,
have charges against you and be arrested for longer detainment is like, you'll be home tomorrow, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to use your one call to call a lawyer because we haven't laid any charges against you yet.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also honestly think that's probably situationally dependent and how savvy you are with the law yourself, because you probably can get out of it faster if you can call authority on their stuff.
Well, sure,
Yes.
and I would assume that Michael and Sonia would know their stuff, but yes.
Watch Suits.
They probably don't need to.
Highly
like,
recommend
they've
it.
got
No.
But they do just that on occasion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The glory justifying the beans.
Which is clear because, the cops found nothing to charge them with.
Right.
Yeah.
24 hours later,
They're like, I got
they
this,
were released.
I got this,
Yeah.
it's okay, just keep silent.
So they're on their way back now, but they still are not home.
Yeah.
Dresden gives the PG-13 updates to Forthill on the events at the auction and the denarians. Forthill is very, shook to hear about Nicodemus and asks for a description of him. Harry tells him about the rope tied around in a noose that Nicodemus wears. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of recognition there from Forthill.
Yeah. Because he's like, you sure he's Nicodemus? What does he look like? Oh, yeah, that sounds like him. So we definitely get some interesting stuff here that I kind of wanted to reference, in another point, and we hadn't gotten to it yet, so it's nice that we can address some of this here.
The backstory, the good meat and cheese.
Yeah, exactly. Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
With cheese, though, because cheesy potatoes are fantastic. We had too much talk about spinach dipping.
I went on too many of those diets that were not maybe paleo, no. Oh, so South Beach, so the potatoes get vilified.
Gotcha.
And so we received the rundown on Nicodemus.
Yeah, so here again, he brings up, Harry's like, I don't know, the guy just seems kind of off, and Forthill's like, evil. This is what evil looks like. This is, again, not your fairy tale, oh my god, that guy at the Apple store was so, he's evil, he would not, it's like...
The evil queen puts a bad term on the word evil.
Yeah, he's like, this is Jen. And again, when you're coming from the church, that means a whole other different thing to them and what they're...
Well, then he identifies Nicodemus as an ancient foe of the Knights of the Cross. And they don't really have a lot of information on him because Nicodemus, every few centuries, just completely destroys all the archives on the regular. He wants
just totally
he wants them
cheating.
left in the dark.
Yeah, he specifically makes a point of setting them back as often as he can. So when we first met him a while ago and we were trying to get and find, and this is the thing, it's there is limited about...
So again, this is the problem with the whole debate between, the history version and the Bible version of the history, is it's hard to place exactly how old Nicodemus is, because, Christianity, we could say is about 2,000 years, give or take, right?
The information has been regularly redacted.
But technically speaking, if God created the universe, then everything else has to be just about as old as the universe or whatever like that, right? Like, so, we can't say exactly for how long Nicodemus has been fighting the fight.
He's definitely doing his due diligence.
Clearly, you know.
Nick is like, you don't get to know anything on me. Which is from an author perspective, like, this is a great way to really, like, you get just a tiny
intrigue and mystery on your bad guy. But
smoke and mirrors right now.
Pique the interest.
For a bad guy's side, too. That's just so smart. If you're going to exist for a couple of thousand years, you've got to go and erase your identity, right?
Well, and exactly, right? Like, they could have so much built up on him and know, like, so much about him at this point, except that he keeps throwing that wrench in the
so you've got this whole, like, Wizards of White Council, which essentially said that they built themselves up in, like, early days Rome. So we know that the White Council has existed for give or take 2,000 years, because they set up
Merlin.
Plus, because, like, they were still an Egyptian sort of era.
Well, yeah, right? So
okay, but Merlin built the White Council.
Merlin built the White Council in the early Roman
give or take
days.
when Merlin existed, right?
So you know that their collective archives together are about 2,000 years worth of history, right? And similarly, the church has been attempting to keep this same sort of informational archive for at least 2,000 years now, right? However, unlike the White Council, they keep getting their shit fucking stolen and burned and started over from zero, right? So it's like, imagine just what the, I say the Catholic Church is an organization, and when I say that, I mean in the context of the Dresden Files, not the real world, but the Catholic Church, which is a good and pure thing in the books, is like, they're trying to keep their whole actual ambition and the what's the word, like
original purpose,
but like staying in par with the supernatural, just as any other organization in the Dresden Files world is attempting to do, right?
And they're at a disadvantage because they don't have supernatural defenses that the Wizard Council would,
which is all they have is the fact that they can't walk onto holy ground.
Faith and consecration,
things that are in the church is its own supernatural barrier against them. But obviously, that's easy enough to.
But again, as they discuss in this chapter, they've got goons. So where Nicodemus cannot tread, he will send his mortal minions.
His thralls and things like that. So
you can walk into
same thing. God has his knights, the fairies have their knights, and the fallen have their thralls. It's just everyone does their own human cheating.
Everyone has the minions.
Well, again, right? If you're gonna get in exactly, you got to keep up with the Joneses when you're a mortal enemy. So if they get the capability to do that, you have to find a capability to counter that and the whole thing. And like, he goes on where he's like, because he's like, oh, it seems like they've met before, and he's like, because he's like, he's survived them all. And he's like, oh, like, he gets away. And she was like, the knights, like, anytime Nicodemus is facing a knight. And he's like, oh, he manages to, like, get away. And he's like, no, he kills them.
Right.
He's killed hundreds of knights.
No,
thousands
like
of priests and
nuns.
3,000 men, women, and children. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does not care.
Well, and
we find out that basically everyone has died except, in the thousands, as you were saying.
Yeah.
But 2 people, and Shiro is one of them.
Shiro is one that he has faced and did not instantly defeat. So that's like
the annoying thing too about humanity is like we're not talking about 100 generations technically, right? We don't know how long, Nicodemus could have killed the dude on his day 1, right? And then they instantly got a replacement and he killed him on that day 2, right? It's hard to know how much time passed between each of these kills, right?
Yeah, and there's 3 nights at any given time.
And there's 3 nights at any given time, so you've got no idea.
One guy could last like 80 years and one guy could be replaced, like you say, every day.
Other week, right? Like, it's hard to say exactly just how often he is killing off these knights and he's making it his business and he's, right? So that's just one more thing where it's like, it's not like, once a generation he kills off. No, you don't know that.
Yeah, right.
We don't know exactly how far back this 100 goes, right?
Yeah, and again, and it's all sort of just, and that's, he says, just from the records we're able to keep, that we don't know about how much else we're missing, right? Those numbers could be billions, not thousands, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, so it's very, it's how methodical Nicodemus is. It's like how...
He's a very intelligent enemy. He is...
intelligent and also, petty.
He's a boss.
Like,
if this was gaming, he's boss level.
Yeah.
Well, and so this goes back to what you were saying. We were having that religious conversation and talking about the religious themes and how they, translate back and forth. And the fact that he's going around with Judas's noose.
Yeah.
you know, the traitor's noose around his throat, and that's his fucking iconic symbol.
yeah.
This is where we start getting into that, right? Where it's suggested that he's...
Yeah.
Oh,
this is
yeah,
it.
no, this is... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
It's not
like,
outright said, but it was, like, very heavily implied.
Yeah. Because Harry's like, yeah, I first thought it was like a string tie or whatever, and he's like, but it's like a noose or whatever, and he's like, yeah, it's suspected to be the one the traitor used or whatever, right? So yeah, that's when they're like...
You can't take a larger stance than that. It's like, whether or not it is or isn't. I mean, that's quite the presentation. Like, this is the thing that I choose to represent me and be out there for everyone else, is like, literally Judas's noose.
For those that have or haven't noticed exactly what it is and its purpose, but...
And again, with the question being is whether or not Judas, you know, the free will chose to betray him or not, or was Satan or the fallen of some kind whispering in his ear making him do that, is another question. You know, people say, like, oh, well, did he do it for the gold? Did he do it for this? Was he being tricked by a snake in a garden? Like...
Well, and I love the ambiguousness of the whole conversation with Forthill right here, is that there is so much implied suggestion. There isn't history to back it up, but there's lots of theory being thrown out here, and enough for the reader themselves to actually sort of try to draw their own conclusions. Like, we've got the news, the betrayer's news, so it's like, I kind of go, like, is this actually just Judas? Like, so there's like that sort of question of how old is this guy? We also find out that Nicodemus is fallen angel and Enduriel,
Badass eel.
is the captain of Lucifer, who leads who does actually lead the 30 fallen.
Well, yeah.
But what's interesting about that also, which brings us even more questions, is that Nick and Enduriel have this sort of equal partnership, and he retains his free will. So it's like, what about Nick is so special that he gets to be an equal with one of the fallen angels?
He's just an asshole. He's just willing to be, and this is
so many open questions here. Like, it just opens up so much.
And this is exactly why Nicodemus is so. It's not just like, oh, the devil made me do it. I got in with a bad crowd and they influenced. He's like, you guys are wicked badass. I want to be wicked badass.
Fully willing participant.
Fully
which is,
willing, so they
again, that free will thing from God's side. How much are the knights, you know, acting in their own faith or being influenced by God? How much is Nicodemus acting his own faith or being influenced by the Satan?
Michael wants to be good and pure. He's like, I want to protect the innocent and I want to fight for good. And Nicodemus is like, I want to watch the world burn and I want that.
I want them all to bow to me.
They have it, right? Like, that's the thing, is that, you know, you could say with any of the others, you know, like, exactly that they're being, because that's what they were saying to Dresden the first time around when they were telling him what these things were, right? They're like, they'll seduce you, they'll tempt you, they'll give you... Nicodemus doesn't need any of that. He's like, I don't... this is where, again, I get a lot of Marcone, right? Marcone is good at what he does.
He's nobody's bitch.
He's nobody's bitch. Marcone is like, I will make these decisions that I want based on what? If it's a good idea to slaughter everybody, we will slaughter everybody. If it's not a good idea, we are not going to do that. And if you go against me, you're out of the club.
This, like, to me, this makes him such an ultimate villain.
Because
it's not only does he have this supernatural entity that's backing him, but he is so badass as in his just regular human form that is just him.
Well, that's it. There's no victimization. There's nothing to blame it on.
He is exalted to this point that is with these.
Well, Harry did this soul gaze with the guy at the beginning of the book. Ursiel, yes. And he saw this tortured soul who's been crucified. And I imagine if you're going to do the soul gaze with Nicodemus, that's not what you're going to see. You're going to see a man at a breakfast table cutting his pancakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the table, like.
Yeah, right. So Ursiel's dude might have thought at one point that he was in charge and he was going to, you know, but bit by bit, and like, this is the thing.
He's almost facing two ultimate villains at once. Is what he's doing. It's not just...
Well, yeah, they're combined,
Yes, it's very much, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it, is that he gets extra powers or possibilities.
And Nicodemus isn't even exercising that yet. He's just using sheer willpower at this point.
This is fully still just Nicodemus.
And he is
with all the confidence, all the confidence of knowing that you're backed up.
All we've seen is his billowy shadow moving like independently, but exactly, it's like we haven't really seen him need to do, other than, again, the fact that they shot him 50 times in the chest and he didn't die. I'm going to say that's Enduriel, but well, yeah, because he's had all this
beyond like the physical, being able to resist physical attacks.
Yeah.
It really has just been effortless on his part to get
he's had all of this time
And that's part of what makes him so much of a leader for his own people, too, is like, Denarian girl has to fucking, Deidre has to constantly be shifting, right? And Snake Boy is constantly shifting, and Ursiel was constantly shifting, but dude is just like, they're gonna protect me. They're gonna shift and do all their shit for me. I don't need to do it because they got that handled. I can walk looking like a mortal man and be totally fine anyways.
Like, this is such a tasty enemy. A tasty enemy. Oh,
yeah.
I just love it.
Because that's the thing, too, is, like, you get with a lot of your bad guys, there's always, like, that backstory and that right? So you get, like the Incredibles, right? Incrediboy or whatever, right? He's like, I wanted so bad to be, he didn't have time for me, that was his order. I'm like, fine, I'm going to be the biggest bad. So then you get that sympathy for the, right? You're like, well, he was just this little kid, and if Mr. Incredible had just said hi to him, this never would have happened. He would never have become Batman had all this horrible stuff. Batman's like, I'm going to channel it into trying to protect it, right? So there's always that, right, where you get that backstory, and you're like, how did this villain become this villain? And there's usually, like, somebody killed the person they loved, right? He's like, hey, he was great. He was just a guy, and then you killed his wife, and now he's psychotic and is going to kill everybody else, or you killed his parents, or you took this, right? And Nicodemus is like, no, I want, right? Like, again, right? That's where it's like, you're not like, oh, human tragedy, like circumstances molded him into, he's choosing. He's like, no, dude, I want to be the king of the baddies.
He's like almost like one of the Knights of the Cross, but for the fallen.
Well, yeah,
That's exactly what we're saying.
He's
exactly
why he exists is to be their equal and opposite.
Yeah, it was literally that point. Yeah, we made it like 5 minutes ago where he's like, that's
what they're there for.
His free will still there.
To be their thing.
He's like, I don't need. He's like, Andurian will need me more than I need Andurian. And it's like, fuck, dude. Like, yeah. So it just gives Harry that touch more perspective.
But it's like, you ought to be annoyed if you like show up to this book and you're fucking Ortega and you're like, I've been planning this war for like fucking 300 years and we were just waiting for one guy to step up and give him this excuse to do it, and you're the guy who did it, and I'm gonna come and rock your shit. And he's like, whoa, I met someone so much stronger than you, like, yesterday. You have just moved down the list of priorities. You don't even matter anymore.
Although in all fairness, Ortega's side is we weren't quite ready to start the war
okay,
yet.
But still, Ortega's still like, but I'd be like, so offended if I was like, what do you mean you have a bigger, badder guy in town?
Upstaging him, he's like, completely, he comes to you, and at the beginning of the book, we're like,
this is the biggest thing in the world, and by the end of the book, he's like, oh, let's just go get this done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's like, the red cord is here, he's like, fucking Ortega sitting next to me, oh my god,
he's got assassins on all my guys right now. Like, the rescue mission to go save Dresden had a bunch of reds following them that whole time.
And he's like,
hey boss, they're fighting the Fallen right now? Like, we're tailing them like you wanted us to, so we can take them out if Harry tries to do anything weird, but, like, they're fully fighting this, like, entity you've never even heard of.
Yeah, he hasn't tried contacting anybody and told them to get out of town. Like, I don't,
Ortega's like, what do you mean that they've got another problem other than us? Like,
but yeah, seriously, he, like, comes on to be this big, like, we're gonna threaten you, we're gonna kill you, and if not, we're gonna, and Harry's like, I don't care.
What that would be such a big blow to the ego.
Like,
he'd be like,
right?
What?
And the same shit happens at the end of the book, the end of the series currently where we are is like the Fallen's like, we're gonna kill you, and they're like, we have a motherfucking do you think we give a shit about the Fallen right now? I know, but still, like, no one gives a fuck about you right now, Nicodemus. Shut the fuck up.
Small fry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
After 17 books, well, we've moved on.
Yeah. It's like, have you heard of the Nemesis? Because we don't care about you right now.
But
it's just like every book is like, here's the bad guy from last book, and here's an even stronger bad guy for next book, who will be trumped by the guy in the next book, and he'll be trumped by the guy in the next book.
Which is part of Harry's problem, where he's like, what the fuck? Come on.
I was here to fight ogres under bridges.
Can I just stay at level 2 for a while and just get comfy with that? And then...
Which is funny, because, like, this is really, really quite early in, but just doing this read now where I don't really remember much, I'm like, this guy is so beautifully suave. Like, he's just...
Well, yeah,
that's part of Nick's
there's a beautiful
personality
perfection about him.
Well, yeah, that's the other part that makes you hate him so much. He's not fumbling. He's not.
Oh, I don't hate him at all at this point. I'm all for Nicodemus.
Yeah, but that's why you're like, he looks good, he dresses good, he acts politely.
It's just kind of like how
it's just like
people hate Umbridge more than they hate Voldemort.
Yeah,
because Voldemort didn't get many lines in the movie, but Umbridge, she got to have a lot of fucking lines in the movie, and people were like, the things you say, motherfucker, I just.
But again, to me, that is the difference there too. Is that I have in some ways more hate for Umbridge because she was just a person who was convinced that she was doing more harm more immediate harm than Voldemort. Right? Like it may have been under that.
Well,
side
she didn't have an altruistic reason.
Well, no,
a lot of villains
she's
do.
like, this is the way.
Voldemort had a prophecy that told him to kill a baby. Umbridge just wanted to do it.
Umbridge is a bully. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like that's the thing, right? Voldemort was the whole supernaturally and predestined, and he had this whole big thing going on.
So for him, he's altruistic.
He was looking for.
In his mind, he is.
In his mind, he is. Yeah. Well, so was him, but that's the thing, you know. And it was like, and to me, it spoke of more of the everyday evils, right? Of exactly, it's like, this is what happens if you let. Your schools,
the government come into your schools,
or your thing, or you're exactly right. It looks, we're just doing this for your protection. No, this will be better. Everything is good if we do this. And it was like, again, right, and so much easier to see in Harry Potter. Anyways,
still, point is that we get the rundown in the backstory of Nicodemus, and he's a pretty awful fucking guy, and he's been a pretty fucking awful guy for a real long time.
So many questions by finding out this this backstory, even with the noose, like. Because they figure it has power, so what does the power that noose do? Like,
well, that's it, and I think like it's just like another artifact,
like the shroud. It's got potential power in it, and that it isn't.
Yeah, nobody knows any of it. It's just like
anybody could have picked it up and used. But yeah, exactly right. He didn't go seeking out like the Holy Grail to get his power. He's like, oh hey, this thing will do. It's. Right.
So this is the other thing is that we only know where 10 of the coins are right now.
It's
like there's 30 fallen out there in the world, and we can only account for 10 of them, whether or not we have their coins in collection or they're actively being used by the bad guys.
Right. Yeah. On top of that, we know that Nicodemus only ever has 5 or 6 denarius working for him at a time because they all fight. They cross fight.
Yeah.
And there's only about 3 of them: Snake Boy, Demon Girl, and Ursail, that are his right-hand men.
Like that are totally committed to the cause.
Complete posse, yeah. Like, we always sort of get along, and everybody else maybe works with you for,
So it's not necessarily a 30 fallen angel against them.
To be fair,
it's a much smaller amount.
The fallen are still the fallen. They are still the betrayer angels, okay? They're not good guys that are just running around on Earth because they didn't want to work with God, right?
Yeah, but they're still fallen. They're just like rival gangs.
Right? Well, it gives us some scope because there's like maybe 3 people that we definitely know are on board, maybe a couple of other ones, but there's another 19 that are unaccounted for.
They're not all part of the Blackened Denarians. That doesn't mean that they're not still fallen.
Yes.
Right.
No, the 30
are fallen.
Are the coins, the Blackened Denarians.
But we haven't.
I thought the Blackened Denarians.
We haven't gotten to anything in the books at this point for Blackened Denarians.
Oh, okay.
This is new to me. Unless I completely missed it.
That's what Michael calls them when he gets the coin. He's like 30 denarii, the 30 pieces of silver.
Oh, I might just be misunderstanding you.
Yeah, the Blackened Denarius is that's
the 30 coins.
That's what the coins are.
Okay. So I'm just misunderstanding how you're putting it.
The order of the Blackened Denarius is everybody.
It sounded like a different sect.
It's a synonym for the fallen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm with you
it's
now.
not just Nicodemus's group. It's all 30 of them. If they have a reason to work together, they will work together. So parts of them will come in and out, but they don't all. Right. It's not like, so this is what I mean, it's kind of like a rival gang thing to like, we want to look after this part, you guys can have control of that part, we're in, you know what I mean, like it's
they're not following Nicodemus,
they don't
they're a herd of cats. Still evil on
but Earth. They're all still like a gang on
herd of
like,
cats.
They're like, oh, we want to go against this, we'll team up, they're like, oh, you want to pull this bank house, we totally want to pull this bank house too because it'll get us
okay, so wrapping up this part 2 is the final thing is that Father Forthill is able to clarify which of the coins Harry was offered. And that was Lashiel, who was the seducer.
The seducer, indeed. Right. And it's funny because that's what he says. He's like, I'm kind of surprised he would have offered you that one because they're not ones that usually work together or whatever, right?
Yeah, and Duriel and Lashiel are not generally friends.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he means. He's a rebel angel among rebel angel. He's like, maybe, but he's like, don't want to discuss it right now. So again, we don't want to draw too much attention. It's like, don't say the names of power,
And it's a bit of a hint to an underpinning of a different kind of partnership that nobody knows about. So it adds to this air of mystery. Why would he do that? So even the characters are questioning. It's not just like being fed information like this is why they're doing it. Blah blah blah.
But his
theory about that though would be that like he wants to cause chaos in the world, right? And how much better than having like this totally rogue fallen running around? It's like you know what? Harry's obviously proven himself not to be a team player. Because we know already, like, he does his research on Dresden. He knows that the dude fucking backs out of deals after deals after deals and betrays everyone and blah, blah, blah. He knows that about him already.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, sure. I'm not even going to try to have you on my team. I'm going to already start you off. It's just a motherfucking falling on the loose. Run around the city and be fucking crazy. Because that in and of itself takes you off the battleground and just makes you a problem for everyone else. I don't need to try and keep you reined in. I want you just to be fucking Kazakh, what's the word?
Hectic?
Caustic?
No,
Chaotic.
havoc. I want you to go wreak havoc on the
havoc.
world. All on your own, okay? I don't even care about trying to rein you in.
Like, you kind of do that anyways, trying to be good. Just how much better can it be if we
You just lean into the evil.
See, and I always took it a little bit too as like the way they're saying, they're like, oh, we don't know where any are, because again, the church does try to, like, you know, Michael picking up this coin and giving it into to be packed away in box. You know, they're trying to remove them,
Trying to collect them.
That part of me, you know, too. Like, I think a little bit the way I always looked at it was just like there wasn't like there may be a big evil plan, or it may just be like this is the only fucking coin I have right now.
Also
you know
true,
what I mean? So it's like you don't
the
know
only one
like
I have to give out.
yeah, right. Is it like this is just what's available that I have that I can, or is it again a big plan behind it? You know, so is that why it's odd? Just because normally I wouldn't. I'd much prefer to give him, you know, Ursiel, but you got I
gotta say that I really like that these are haunted sort of haunted physical things like
yeah.
Objects. Like it's like the coins from Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah.
Cursed
silver.
Yes. Yeah. So anyways, so at this point, Susan comes out from having her.
What happens if you stab a werewolf with a denarian?
Ooh.
Is that inherited silver?
You have, well, I don't think he wouldn't be a werewolf anymore, but I think the denarian would save the human.
Yeah. Just be funny.
I don't know. I think
there's like a stack there. Like, what happens first?
Yeah, Harry should do that. Harry should stab one.
The denarian could perhaps work with the whole werewolf thing too, but because I don't know if it would be inherited the same way. Because obviously these coins were they passed down as an heir? Yeah, but nobody would be like, this is the coin that you know what I mean. It'd be like, obviously they made their way down, but more like it'd be like people would like not want to acknowledge. I don't know, just the coin. It's
Well, again, the denarians don't need to have children to continue the bloodline. Yeah, they just stay the same bloodline for the next 4,000 years if they don't get killed.
But like also like does an heirloom count as an heirloom because of the sentimentality and the thing? You're like, I want you to have my crown.
You're gonna turn this into a debate of Theseus' ship.
Do their hosts procreate and they just transfer possession?
That's what I'm saying. They don't have to procreate because they can stay their own generation forever. They're not aging while they're with the fallen.
If they procreate while they're possessed, does that mean they're possessed by like?
Well, this is the question with Deidre. Whether or not she's Angeriel's daughter or Nicodemus's or both or what.
Yeah, see, I don't think, like...
God, I didn't even think of...
if Deidre had a baby, I think it would just be... I mean, again, she wouldn't raise it. I don't know. Like, there might be a certain taint with the thing, but it wouldn't have...
But if a tainted fallen has a baby with another tainted fallen, does the DNA come...
Like the omen?
Do you get 4 sets of chromosomes?
But I'm just saying, but, like, the demon is that... She's still got that coin. She's just not passing that on. She's not,
do denarians affect DNA? They have to. They have to, because they actually manipulate the form.
Okay, but here's the thing about the Percy Jackson series, and why they say the Percy Jackson kids are allowed to date each other, because all the gods are related to each other. All the kids are like, the gods don't have DNA, so that's why it's okay if we date each other. We don't date our half-siblings, but you're allowed to date the other houses, because gods don't have DNA. That's explained in the books.
If you have the same...
It's okay, incest is fine.
Yeah, if you have...
Not with your siblings, but with your cousins, it's okay.
Oh, God.
And aunts and uncles and whatever.
Shut up!
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing. That was fucking hilarious.
If you have the same mortal parent, you're related, and you're not going to date.
And if you have the same godparent, you're related and you're not going to date. But
if she was sired by Apollo and I was sired by Apollo and she was sired by Mr. Green and I was sired by Mr. Brown, that's fine.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay, so
if you're sired by Zeus and I'm sired by Apollo, that would technically make us have siblings. But
not both by.
We're still allowed to date because the gods don't have DNA, so the half siblings don't count. The cousins don't count. The aunt and uncle doesn't count. Only siblings count.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, I did mean to. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I would assume.
And this is.
I'd say the fallen don't have DNA because only humans have, or organic material on Earth has organic DNA chromosomes like that. fallen things come from heaven, hell, whatever. They don't carry chromosomes or DNA in the same way.
Yeah.
The scientist in me
They
is
have
like,
science.
how do they affect the biology?
Well, you can read Virals by Kathy Reichs to have that answer.
This is the divinity of it all, is that you get to play outside the rules. I'm a god.
Stop asking questions.
I am willing to ask these questions because I think Butcher is an intelligent enough writer.
Well, he's not going to answer for you.
He's like, fuck Zeus. We haven't brought him into this yet.
Butcher, we have
We're as
questions
far as
about
Norse,
reproduction.
Right?
What happens when?
What happens when? So forgetting all of this, Harry eventually just abandons this to go talk to Valmont, because just like us, he's very confused about the DNA.
First, though, Susan finishes up her phone call with Martin. She comes out and she notions to them and turns on the news, and we discover that where they managed to track Harry to and rescue him from is now burning to the ground. Right. So they can't go back in that way and find them. Obviously, they've picked up, so it's not like, quick, let's go back to the central library and rescue Shiro. It's like, oh, right. Well, who the fuck knows where they are now?
So that kibosh is one thing, which is trying to rescue Shiro because they have no idea where he is.
Where he is, yep.
He does sort of spitball trying to go to Underworld again.
Yeah. And Forthill's like, don't do it. I
gotta say, is it Underworld or is it Undertown? Because in the EPUB that I have, it says Underworld, but I remember it only being referred to Undertown.
So different. This is not a capital. So he's not talking about going to Undertown, meaning the tunnels under the city. He's talking about going to the Underworld, meaning I'm going to go talk to demons and
like the Never.
Do you have your physical copy? I put a note to ask you about that.
Yeah. But yeah, he's not talking about just going to Undertown. He's talking about going to his connections in the Underworld as a broader
This is around the time of the phone call?
Yes. Right after the phone call.
Underworld, under capital. Top of the book.
Underworld.
Yeah.
Lowercase?
Yep, lowercase, Underworld.
So yeah, he's not talking about going to Undertown.
Okay.
That place. He's just talking about going to contacts. I'm going to summon up.
Oh, no, that's good then. Okay.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just going to start calling up my demon buddies and being if they know anything. And that's why Forthill's like, I don't like it. Don't get more. Like, you're already dealing with fallen angels and shit. Don't go string up more demons and selling your soul to shit. I mean, not literally. But.
Well, that's why I drew that, because I was like, I didn't know if there was a distinction. Because I just recall him saying Undertown so often, and where he was in Undertown. It wasn't. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the clarification there.
Indeed. So he's like, it's too dangerous. The knights wouldn't want. And at this point, Harry's like, fuck it. I don't care what the fucking, they're in trouble. They've got Shiro. Michael and Sonya were sent off on a wild goose chase. They should be on their way back, but we don't really know. He's like, I don't care. Their way's not working. I'm going to do it my way.
Right.
And if I need to go and ask Chauncey, who was the demon we met in book 2, who also hinted about his parentage and things like that, right? But he's like,
I better come back eventually.
Right. He's like, if I have to go talk to Chauncey, I will do that, because that will get me my answer faster than doing it the right way. You know, like, I don't want to take 3 days to find them and Shiro's dead.
Well, and even Susan asked if Michael may be able to help, but the will of God is kind of persnickety, and the other knights should be back in an hour, as long as there's no other implied delays.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, Harry plans to try to call on Chauncey when the sun goes down if the angels don't assist.
Yeah.
So there is some contingencies going on.
Well, again, right? He's like, I don't really have anything against God, but he's like, I don't have all my faith in him the same way Michael does. So he's like, I don't want to just leave this up to, like, well, if God deems it, we'll find him. He's like, I want to do everything I can to find him before it's too late. I don't care if God is okay with him dying. I'm not.
Yeah.
So he's doing a good job of doing backup plans here. He's like, this I hope is going to work, but
and again, this is why you have Harry on your team, because he's not beholden to one method. Harry's totally fine with going back and forth across the lines to get his shit done.
Shit, so he's like, I don't trust you, but we'll see if this works. Great, yeah, I don't trust you, but if it works, great.
Well, again, it comes down to the knights have to follow the rules. That's why they're the knights. They're the good guys. The good guys follow the rules.
He's a great troubleshooter.
Nicodemus is a bad guy. Therefore, he gets to disavow or disobey all of the rules. And Harry's like, I'm not going to play by the rules while he gets to cheat and maybe win, you know? He's like, there's no guaranteeing that, you know, so he's like, I will cheat.
Harry's very much like, the good guys should also get to cheat and still be the good guys.
Yes, exactly. He's like, if I have to cheat to stop him, then yeah, right? I'm not going to, you know, bad guy speeding away. He's like, I'm not going to do the speed limit. I have to speed to catch him. that's what we're gonna do, right? You know, and so so even though Forthill's like, oh, but he's like, don't care, we're gonna.
But that's where the dichotomy comes in when Harry's like, well, I'm gonna play nice with the vampires because we're on vampire turf, and Michael's like, I'm not fucking playing nice when we're with the vampires, right? It goes both ways. When Harry's like, I want to be on both sides of the playing field, depending on which one works better for me, and that's why both sides are constantly at odds with him, because it's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Either you're on one side or you're not, right?
Harry seems pretty practiced with having that duality with working with the people he does.
Exactly. That's why he fights with Murphy all the time. That's why he fights with Michael all the time. That's why he fights with Leah and the White Council and the vampires.
And himself.
Himself, right?
He fights with people that have one hand that's cuffed to
and Harry's
whatever their cause is.
And
Harry goes
like
back and forth
cuffed,
constantly. Yes.
And he's Mr. Grey. He's like,
he's like,
I'm going to pick and choose as I go.
Well, and that's why he didn't become a cop. You know, he's like, I don't want to be bound by that set of rules. I want to have the choice that I can.
PI is way more up my speed.
Yeah, you know, and this, that, and the other thing, and exactly, and why, he's where he's at with the council and the whole bit. So yeah,
Right. So Harry heads off to Valmont.
Yeah. So he figures
in
get
the
some answers
guest
there.
sewing room.
Yes.
A room he himself has found himself waking up in a time or two before.
Usually stitched up and bandaged and possibly in traction.
I love that little interaction between the two of them. Harry tells Anna to get up, or he'll call the police. Blasted.
I'm just like, I know you're faking it. Don't pretend you're like. Don't try and think I know you're still sleeping. Like I was just putting all the cops.
Not only that, but he asked for his coat. Give me my fucking
That's the
coat.
first thing.
I want my coat.
Right.
But he does ask who the name of the buyer is, and she tells Harry that she'll tell if she tells Harry that buyer will just kill her. Done.
Yeah, and he's like, well, there's a bunch of people trying to kill you anyway, so. You know, he's like, because she's like, I'm just gonna turn me over, and he's like, I saved your life twice, like, I think I got a little goodwill, like, I think that tells you, you know, and she's like, well, yeah, but, you know, and again, she's still trying to cope with not just, like, a deal gone wrong, but again, her first foray into the supernatural, like, did I see what I saw?
Yeah, all her friends are dead.
Like, my friends are dead.
She's in shock.
I
would be.
Are demons actually chasing me around, or am I just having a real bad day and I'm, you know, this is just...
I've had a psychotic break.
Yeah, you know, like, exactly, you know, and...
I'd have my head under the covers with my eyes closed, pretend, no, I'm still asleep.
Yeah. Oh, she tried. Harry didn't let her.
Right. Harry's like, ain't falling for it.
Was it Marcone? I'm not allowed to say. Was it Marcone? Went through an intermediary. Was it Marcone? Oh my god, yes. Fuck.
If I have to say, probably.
Jesus, leave me alone.
Yeah. So he's like, you know, he's not just going to let you walk away anyways. And she's like, I was hoping maybe I can give it back. And he's like, yeah, he doesn't kill you. But, you know, so I mean, like, there's no guarantee, even if you're like, hey, sorry those other guys interrupted, but I mean, you know, all I want her.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty empty promise. Like, she's got nothing to work with.
Well, Marcone doesn't know for sure at this point, and exactly, he doesn't necessarily care. Like, sure, this is a useful person.
He doesn't know that it was lost.
They all of a sudden disappear. So, I mean, half his hotel is burning down, but she wasn't, you know, the shroud wasn't there, she wasn't there, or Harry's doesn't, you know,
I mean, he saw Harry was there. I'm sure he's got some ideas.
Well, no, but he's just meant he's not there when he goes to collect any of it, right? So all he knows is he pushed the button. He's like, okay, I did the transfer. And she's like, okay, it's in a closet, see ya. And... it's not in the closet, right? He can see, obviously.
If I was Marcone, I'd kill her, too.
Obviously, a bunch of shit went down, but yeah, he doesn't know. Did Harry just pull her out of there? Did she just, like, stage all this and run away? Exactly, right? Like, he doesn't know who else has or potentially interfered, so...
Right. Well, she's very much in defensive mode. So Harry offers to try to get her out of town in exchange for information. Some sort of protection.
Yeah, she's scared, she's angry, she's like, I just wanted to finish this, like, we had this deal, all I wanted to do is be like, okay, I sold the thing, I got our money, you know, and she can't, she's like,
I mean, we heard that deal go on, right, and she's just like, and throw in another $1 million for this, and another $1 million for that, and then, like, she could have been set for life, this could have been the last game, especially because she didn't even split it 3 ways now.
Split it, but, you know,
she'd be out of the game.
Does she, I don't recall, like, she doesn't know that Harry overheard that.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, she does a little bit, because Harry walked up behind her with a gun.
But yeah.
At her back, but she doesn't know when he got there.
necessarily know at what point he walked in on all of that. But yeah, you know, this is it, kind of like, whether it's part of the line she's giving Harry or whether, and I don't see any reason not to believe her, not that she can't use it to Harry too, but I mean, like, again, right, she's like, they're dead, I want to finish this for them, like, this was the last deal we were working on, I would at least like to see this through, be like, hey guys, we did it, we stole the shroud, we sold it, I've got the money. I'm going to go retire on that secret island we always talked about and, raise a glass to you kind of a thing, right? And she's like, every step of the way that's getting, she's like, I don't know what all these other politics are going on. I don't care what all this, like, I don't understand what any of this is. I'm just trying to do what should have been a simple job. Another thieving job like the 100 we've done before, So yeah, she's trying to keep it simple and just to what she knows. And I'm like, she can't even just do that. She's like, I just want to finish it the way I want. And now she's like, now I still don't have it. And now I've got like more people trying to run around and kill me. Like, what the fuck?
He really does try to connect with her, but I also love that he makes fun of her. Earth to larceny spice. Come in, larceny spice.
Right. This is a little like British in there. So yeah.
How dated is that? Do we have any listeners that are like over or under the age of 20 that would be like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
Well, the Spice Girls reference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone would get that.
I'm sure most people. I mean, yeah, I think you would have to be.
It's been a while
probably
since
like
they've released anything like.
But
Still, people know Spice Girls.
I was gonna say there's still a few good songs out there that are still bouncing around that you're gonna. I don't know that
Mel B is still judging on shows.
Yeah,
the other ones are probably doing something.
Got talent and all this kind of
And
stuff.
yet at the same time, people don't know what a home phone number is.
I know Baby Spice does a lot of British panel shows, and Mel B does a lot of American shows, and the other two or three are
well, Posh is busy running around being married, and doing clothing lines and stuff.
And then the other ones, who cares? But I'm sure people still know about the Spice. Wannabe plays on the radio every fucking
Ginger
day.
and Sporty.
Find us on Discord. Our link is in our website. I want to know.
But we only care if you're in your 20s or younger.
If you don't know who the Spice Girls are, let us know. I'm curious. I just want to feel old as shit.
Yeah, that's really all you're going to accomplish there.
I'll cry for a week and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Make me cry. Do it.
Yeah. So he's like, look, help us out. Give me as much as I can. I'll give you. And she's like, okay, well, let me at least clean up and compose myself. Right.
Help me to the bathroom, please.
So, yeah, she
and my
gets out
first
of bed.
impression is already like, she's just gonna do the classic jump out the bathroom window and escape shtick. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but she adds a little twist
Affirmed.
in it by, oh, I think I twisted my ankle. So Harry's feeling more sorry and thinking she's all broken. Well, she's not going to run away anywhere. She can't walk. And plus just his typical womanly, chivalry and da-da-da-da-da-da. So,
Sure.
yeah, gets her all set up and goes downstairs. And so, he figures, try and look professional. So he calls to give an update to Father Vincent. And Father Vincent's like, what the fuck? Still, like, he's all tired and whatever. And he's like, somebody else grabbed it again. He's like, okay, fine, fuck it. I'm just gonna
You're the worst.
I'm just gonna go to the call. I'll let them do it at this point. And Harry's like, no, because you actually, all that time where I'm like, dude, you've read too many, like, novels and you're, like, thinking too much of, like, Chicago and Capone time like that. Actually, yeah, you might be right. Actually, we might have some crooked cops in here, so maybe you don't want to go to them.
Your mistrust may not have been misplaced.
Yeah, right. He's like, so I know I kept telling you were just, like, being over dramatic, but maybe you weren't. So Vincent's like, fine, do we meet up again? And fine, we'll meet at the same little crappy hotel that I dragged you to the first time at 2:00 this afternoon. Harry's like, I can probably do that. So then goes back down.
I love that like little moment because Harry comes downstairs to Susan and she's taking a coffee break. Forthill's working on a new house addition, and Harry tells Valmont she's gonna cooperate. And Forthill's like, really?
He's like, I didn't get that. He's like, I didn't get that sense off of her.
So Harry's like,
He's
oh fuck. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go check.
I know.
But by that point, Anna Valmont has already stolen the beetle and is taken off.
I know.
Harry, you idiot. You're a good man, but an idiot where women are concerned. First my coat, now my car? That's freaking gratitude for you. Susan nodded. No good deed goes unpunished. I stared at her. Are you laughing at me?
No, never.
I love how casual they all are. Like, God, you're such a dumbass.
Well, yeah, well, especially...
You deserve this shithead. Yeah, she's gone. Yes.
Yeah, really?
We are not surprised.
I need to shower for... Yeah, exactly, right? And again, it's just so beautiful coming from Forthill and stuff like that, being that he's, like, a priest and things like that, right? So it's like, obviously, he does not have a lot of relationships with women in that sense, but it's also his job to talk to a lot of people, take a lot of confessions, do so... Often priests can be a decent, they get really good at reading people and they know people's little secrets.
He calls her on it and he's
well,
like,
yeah.
it's my Dresden's, it's my charming personality. The ladies can't resist. He's like,
Right. Yeah, and he's like, it's only decent. Like, she's going to do the right thing, right? And he's like, All right, just kind
Shit.
of keeps nailing. I'm just gonna go check on her. Shit. Yeah, no, it's brilliant.
And the fallout, they're all just like, yeah, of course this happened.
Yeah, because yeah. Fortill's like, I guess, but he's like, yeah. So,
in fact, here's your $5. I bet you $5 here. I owe you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like this is gonna go well. So now he's pissed. So he's like, now he's good. So yeah, so Forthill's been went out to putter around this addition that Michael's been adding on. So he's like, let me break things and smash things and like do physical exertion too. So he's like, here, I don't want you to wreck half of what we've done. So you just help me. So yeah, so he notices in this that Forthill's got this little tattoo, right? Because he's stripped down to his shirt sleeves because he's working and his arms are up and he's like, hey, and manages to bonk himself in the head because he gets distracted by this. Hey, let me see that. Grabs his blunk. But
I would be pretty surprised if I don't think
I had a tattoo.
Yeah, I can't think. Well, okay, and especially in this time frame where this was written and then it's set.
You make it sound like it's like 80 years ago.
No, I'm not saying. I mean, if I saw like right now contemporary, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a priest with a fucking nose ring at this point. I wouldn't be surprised.
But still, early 2000s. Early 2000s were a little, but still
it was just
more.
a little bit more. And growing up in the Catholic Church, I would be like.
So yeah, I mean, devil worshippers have tattoos.
My priest is so badass. He has a tattoo.
But tattoos are supposed to be like a sign of the devil.
Granted, yes, a lot of us are used to people that started in and like went straight into it. But I'm like, there's a lot of priests that did have a life before they became priests.
So point is that the tattoo that he has is one that Harry has actually seen before.
Yes.
One that Bob was not happy to see.
No, and this is why Forthill's a little bit like put off for a second because he's like, what's the big deal? Like again, like, okay, I'm sorry I have a tattoo, and Harry's like, no, it's what the tattoo is.
So we do find out that in Father Forthill's youth, he and some other boys from seminary is how I sort of took that. Like it was a little unclear, but that's why I took it. No, they stopped a vampire attack. And they all bonded over this experience, and they got tattoos together, and then they vowed to be watchful against the forces of darkness, and there was 5 of them.
Right, yeah. So the idea is that the Catholic Church isn't necessarily entirely aware that there's supernatural going on. We've mentioned before that it used to be a thing where, what is it called when you spiritualize the house? The person?
Sorry, say that again.
Consecrate.
Exercise,
yeah. Like, that was a thing, a more common thing. Where it was
exorcisms,
like, you ask the church to come perform an exorcism, which, gives the idea that the Catholic Church did actually believe in demons and possessions and hauntings and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same time, as we get more and more into the modern age, less and less people believe and are aware and do subscribe to the fact. But yes, it just so happened that these young boys getting started in their careers of priesthood happened to come across the supernatural and became aware of it in their own jurisdiction of it.
Yeah, sort of his graduating class, right? The bunch of them that took their orders together at the same time, and
the Catholic Scooby-Doos.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Baptism by fire, learned about vampires and defeated one.
Well, and we also do learn that most of them are already passed on, so there's not many of them left.
No, and so
in fact, just Vincent and Forthill. Forthill, you say?
A light bulb goes off for Harry, and he starts collecting his things. And while he's doing this, Michael and Sonia arrive at the same moment. He's like, get anything you need for a fight. I said, we're going.
Well, and again, this is that, where Harry's like, whether we get divine intervention or not, and again, as the penny drops, and he's like, everybody else has dropped, and he's like, on pure intuition, I stalked to the front of the house gathering he's like, this is they're gonna be back in time. And he knows as he opens that door, lo and behold, Michael and Sonia, he's like...
Maybe Harry's got a little bit of that twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. I mean, like, he ended up with these boys as well the Knights.
I mean, it makes me laugh, because Harry just, almost, manages to, trick the world into work. It's the same thing like Schrodinger's... when I open this door, it's going to be where the bad guys are because I'm the guy who's opening the door to find the bad guys, right? Harry's like, I'm about to go do some shit about the Knights, so the Knights are going to fucking be there.
I'm linking something. I'm connecting some dots here, so, I know they're going to be in on this. Yeah, so it's kind of a cool scene that way, too. It's just,
the power of deduction.
Right, of everybody else for a second going, wait, what's it? So it'll be interesting to see.
Just what did he solve?
Who remembered and who didn't? Da-da-da-da-da. So, all of a sudden, Harry's on the move again. Fine, Anna, I didn't fucking need you anyways.
This is an announcement to say that we are going to be taking off the month of August to go on our summer vacations and things. We
You
will
can afford to go on vacation?
treat
your mother.
See our family the next town over. It's the vacations that we get.
Yeah.
Point is that we will not post anything in August so that we can contain our bank, and we will finish up the book we are on now, which is
Death
Masks. And we will come back with Vignette and Blood Rites starting September 1st. So this is just a warning to you guys that there's still a couple episodes to go, but no episodes in August. Go enjoy your summers.
This concludes our episode 10.24, Freakin' Gratitude. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.